Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn English Podcast. I'm John, and I'm excited to help you master English today.
And I'm Olivia. Today, we're exploring one of the most versatile and confusing words in English, would.
If you've ever been confused about when to use would, you're not alone. This little word has so many different uses that even advanced learners struggle with it.
But don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll understand all the major uses of would and feel confident using it in your conversations and writing.
Before we start, please subscribe to our channel. We break down confusing English topics and make them clear and practical for everyday use.
Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss our helpful lessons. Your English fluency depends on mastering words like would.
All right, let's begin. First, what exactly is would? Why is it so important and so confusing?
Would is a modal verb, which means it's a helping verb that adds meaning to other verbs. It's the past form of will, but it has many uses beyond just talking about the past.
That's part of what makes it confusing. Would isn't always about the past. Sometimes it's about the present, sometimes the future, sometimes hypothetical situations.
Let's break down all the main uses one by one. Use number 1, talking about imaginary or hypothetical situations in the present or future.
This is probably the most common use. When you imagine a situation that's not real or not true right now, you use would.
If I had more money, I would travel the world. This is imaginary. You don't have more money right now, so you're imagining what you would do.
If I were the president, I would change the education system. You're not the president, so this is hypothetical. You're imagining it.
The pattern is usually if plus past tense, would plus base verb. If I knew the answer, I would tell you. If she lived closer, we would meet more often.
This is called the second conditional. It's for situations that are unlikely or impossible in the present and imagining the results.
Use number 2, polite requests and offers. Would makes your English sound much more polite.
Instead of can you help me, you can say would you help me. It's more polite and formal.
Would you mind closing the window? Would you like some coffee? Would you be able to send me that file? All of these are polite ways to ask.
For offers, would you like a drink? Would you prefer tea or coffee? Would you care for dessert? Very polite.
In restaurants, servers always use would. What would you like to order? Would you like anything else? How would you like your steak?
Use number 3, past habits and repeated actions. This is would as a past form, showing things you used to do regularly.
When I was a child, I would visit my grandparents every weekend. This means you did it regularly in the past.
We would always go to the beach in summer. He would call me every day when we were dating. They would have long conversations about philosophy.
This use is similar to used to, but would emphasizes the repetition. I would play tennis every Saturday equals I used to play tennis every Saturday.
Important note, you can't use would for past states, only past actions. Wrong, I would be shy as a child. Right, I used to be shy or I was shy.
Use number 4, expressing preferences and desires. Would shows what you want or prefer.
I would like a coffee, please. I would prefer to meet on Tuesday. I would love to visit Paris. I would rather stay home tonight.
Would rather is super common. I would rather walk than drive. She would rather not talk about it. Would you rather have tea or coffee?
Would like is more polite than want. Compare I want pizza, direct, versus I would like pizza, polite.
Use number 5, making predictions or assumptions about the present. This is would for logical conclusions.
He's not answering his phone. He would be at work right now. This means you assume or deduce he's at work.
That would be the mailman at the door. You're making an assumption based on context. Probably the mailman arrives at this time.
She would know the answer. She's the expert. You're confident she knows because she's an expert. It's a logical assumption.
Use number 6, reported speech. When you report what someone said using will, you change it to would.
Direct speech, I will call you tomorrow. Reported speech, he said he would call me tomorrow.
Direct, we will be there at 8. Reported, they said they would be there at 8.
Direct, she will help us. Reported, she promised she would help us. The will becomes would when reporting.
Use number 7, giving advice or suggestions. Would makes advice sound softer and less direct.
I would talk to him if I were you. I would check with your doctor first. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
This is gentler than commands. Compare don't eat that versus I wouldn't eat that if I were you. The second is much softer.
You might want to and I would are very common for giving advice politely in English.
Use number 8, expressing willingness or unwillingness in the past. This is about someone's willingness to do something.
He wouldn't listen to my advice. This means he refused or was unwilling to listen.
The door wouldn't open. The door was stuck. It refused to open, so to speak.
She wouldn't tell me what happened. She refused to tell me. The car wouldn't start this morning. It failed to start.
Notice this is always negative or in questions. Wouldn't or would he. It's about refusal or unwillingness.
Use number 9, irritating about repeated behavior. This is would with an irritated tone.
He would forget his keys, said with frustration, meaning typical of him to forget. It's a characteristic annoying behavior.
She would say that, meaning that's so typical of her. You would be late, meaning of course you're late as usual.
This use is always stressed when speaking and usually includes an exclamation mark in writing. It shows the behavior is predictable and annoying.
Now let's discuss would have plus past participle. This is for hypothetical situations in the past.
This talks about things that didn't happen in the past and imagines what the result would have been.
If I had known, I would have come to the party. You didn't know, so you didn't come. You're imagining a different past.
If she had studied harder, she would have passed the exam. She didn't study hard enough, so she didn't pass.
The pattern is if plus had plus past participle, would have plus past participle. This is the third conditional.
If they had left earlier, they would have caught the train. If you had told me, I would have helped you.
Now let's look at would versus will. This is a common confusion point.
Will is for definite future predictions or decisions. Would is for hypothetical, imagined, or uncertain situations.
I will go to the party equals definite decision. I would go to the party if I had time is hypothetical, depends on having time.
She will help you is certain. She would help you if you asked, depends on you asking.
Will is also used in first conditional, real possibilities. If it rains, I will stay home. Would is in second conditional, hypothetical. If I were rich, I would buy a yacht.
Let's discuss would versus used to. Both talk about past habits, but there's a difference.
Used to can describe past states and past actions. I used to be shy. State. I used to play tennis. Action.
Would only describes past actions, not states. I would play tennis every week. Action. Wrong, I would be shy. State.
Used to for past actions are often interchangeable. I used to visit my grandma equals I would visit my grandma. Both are correct.
But used to is more common in negative and question forms. I didn't used to like coffee sounds better than I wouldn't like coffee.
Now, let's practice common expressions and phrases with would.
Would you mind for polite requests? Would you mind opening the window? Would you mind waiting a moment?
I would appreciate it if, for very polite requests. I would appreciate it if you could send me the report.
Would you be so kind as to? Extremely formal and polite. Would you be so kind as to hold the door?
I would imagine for expressing assumptions. I would imagine he's quite busy. I would think so.
Would it be possible to? For polite inquiries. Would it be possible to reschedule our meeting?
I would say for giving opinions carefully. I would say that's a good idea. I would say he's right.
Let's look at contractions with would. These are super important for natural speech.
Would contracts to D after pronouns. I would equals I'd. You would equals you'd. He would equals he'd. She would equals she'd.
We would equals we'd. They would equals they'd. It would equals id, though this is less common.
In speaking, contractions are very natural. I'd love to come. He'd probably know. We'd better leave soon.
Would not contracts to wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. She wouldn't listen. They wouldn't believe me.
Important. Don't confuse I'd as would with I'd as had. Context tells you which. I'd go if I could, would. I'd finished by then, had.
Now let's practice with real-life scenarios to see would in action.
Scenario 1. Making plans. What would you like to do this weekend? I would love to go hiking, but it depends on the weather. What would you prefer?
Notice, would you like, polite question, would love to, preference, would you prefer, polite question about preference.
Scenario 2. Giving advice. I have a job interview tomorrow. Any advice? I would definitely prepare some questions to ask them. I would also arrive 10 minutes early. I wouldn't wear jeans. I'd dress formally.
Uses, would for advice, I would prepare, wouldn't for negative advice, contractions, I'd for natural speech.
Scenario 3. Imagining situations. If I won the lottery, I would quit my job immediately. I would travel around the world for a year. I would also buy my parents a house. What would you do?
This is second conditional, imagining an unlikely situation and the results, all using would for hypothetical actions.
Scenario 4. Restaurant. What would you like to order? I would like the salmon, please. Would it be possible to have it without sauce? Of course. And would you like anything to drink?
Very polite language using would throughout. Would like, would it be possible to, would you like?
Now, let's address common mistakes learners make with would.
Mistake 1, using would in the if clause. Wrong, if I would have time, I would help you. Right, if I had time, I would help you.
The if clause should have past tense, had, not would have. Would goes in the main clause, not the if clause.
Mistake 2, confusing would with will in conditionals. Wrong, if it would rain, I would stay home. Right, if it rains, I will stay home, first conditional, or if it rained, I would stay home, second conditional.
Mistake 3, using would for past states. Wrong, I would be happy as a child. Right, I used to be happy, or I was happy.
Remember, would for past actions, I would play, used to or past simple for past states, I used to be, I was.
Mistake 4, overusing would when giving advice. Instead of every sentence starting with I would, vary it. I'd suggest, you could, maybe you should, why don't you?
Mistake 5, forgetting that would like is more polite than want. In formal situations, don't say, I want coffee. Say, I would like coffee.
Let's create some practice exercises. Transform these sentences using would.
Statement, I'm going to call him. Polite intention, I would like to call him. Hypothetical, I would call him if I had his number.
Statement, she goes to the gym every day. Past habit, she would go to the gym every day when she lived here.
Statement, he can help you. Polite question, would he be able to help you? Hypothetical, he would help you if he knew.
Statement, open the window. Polite request, would you mind opening the window? Or, would you open the window, please?
Here are tips for mastering would in English.
Tip 1. Listen for would in movies, TV shows, and podcasts. Notice which use it is. Polite request, hypothetical, past habit. Context is key.
Tip 2. Practice the second conditional pattern until automatic. If I were rich, I would. If I had time, I would. If I could fly, I would. Drill this pattern daily.
Tip 3. Use would to make your English more polite, especially in professional settings. Replace can you with would you, I want with I would like. This makes a huge difference.
Tip 4. Remember the contraction D and use it in speaking. I'd love to sounds much more natural than I would love to. Native speakers almost always contract.
Tip 5. Don't put would in if clauses of conditionals. The if clause has past tense. Would goes in the result clause. This is a critical rule.
Tip 6. When in doubt about past habits, used to is safer than would because it works for both states and actions. You can't go wrong with used to.
Tip 7. Practice would have for past hypotheticals. This is advanced but very common. I would have helped if I'd known. Essential for fluency.
Tip 8. Keep a would journal. Write down sentences you hear with would and identify which use it is. This builds awareness and understanding.
Let's do a quick review of everything we've covered today about would.
Would has 9 major uses: hypothetical situations, if I had time, I would; polite requests, would you help me; past habits, I would visit often; preferences, I would like coffee; assumptions, that would be John; reported speech, he said he would come; advice, I would check first; unwillingness, he wouldn't listen; and irritation, she would forget.
Would is technically the past form of will, but isn't always about the past. More often, it's about hypothetical or imagined situations in present or future, or about being polite.
Contractions are crucial for natural speech. I'd, you'd, he'd, she'd, we'd, they'd, wouldn't. In conversation, native speakers almost always use contractions with would.
Remember the key patterns: if plus past tense, would plus base verb for hypothetical present or future; if plus had plus past participle, would have plus past participle for hypothetical past.
Common mistakes to avoid: don't use would in if clauses of conditionals, don't use would for past states, only actions, don't confuse it with will in real future conditionals.
Would makes your English significantly more polite and sophisticated, so use it liberally for requests, offers, and formal communication. It's one of the most useful words in English for sounding polite.
Before we finish, this is really important. Please subscribe to our channel.
We create clear, practical lessons like this to help you understand and use confusing English grammar confidently.
Subscribe now so you never miss an episode. We're here to make English easy and accessible.
Leave us a comment with a sentence using would. We'd love to see you practice. Notice I just used we'd, a contraction.
Challenge yourself. Today, use would 3 times in real conversations or writing. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you so much for listening today. We hope would is much clearer now.
Remember, would is one of the most useful words in English. Master it and your English will sound more natural and polite.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep improving.
Until next time, happy learning, everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe.